Hey Anna, this is Eyram. Um, I am the manager at Entry Level Engineers Group. Um, but I thought it would be pretty cool to just hop on a video and kind of help you out with your question. So, for those who don't know, my name is Eyram once again. I'm here on LinkedIn trying to make engineers awesome with their careers. And one way I do it is by answering these type of questions where I dive into like groups, I look at the questions that people have, and I answer them using interesting yet constructive advice. All right. So Anna says she's a chemical engineer. She has a master's in chemical engineering. She graduated 2013. And she was a mom that was traveling and going to school. And her question is, um, I have 3 years of experience in the manufacturing environment. How do I get back on finding a job? How do I explain the gap, even when I was working on the survival job, being a mom, traveling and going to school, etc. So, um, two things, Anna. The first one is explaining the gap. Employers don't care about the gap. They care about having loyal employees. The reason why people don't like gaps is because one, they either think that the skills are not going to be able to be produced, or rather that the candidate doesn't have the skills to produce what they want, or two, that the person is not going to be loyal because they've been jumping from job to job. But you're a mom, you got kids. That's a huge responsibility. And not only that, you are also going to school while you have these kids, and you are traveling while you have these kids. That's a great responsibility. It doesn't matter whether you are in a work environment or at home. The same skills translate over into the work environment. So just being a mom that's able to juggle all of that is huge, and that shows that you're able to bear a lot of responsibility. But to explain the gap, you have to be able to show how you grew through those years that you were not in the workforce, or rather in the chemical engineering workforce. So, for example, I could hire a chemical engineer that has 5 years more experience than you have, Anna, but they always get drunk and they go to parties. So when they come to work, they never produce quality work. If I had a choice between choosing somebody with a lot of experience but gets drunk, or a mom that is out of the industry for a while but she's willing to learn, she knows a lot, she's very good at management, and she's very cleanly and clean, which person would I hire? To me, I would probably choose you, Anna. But that's the point. There's always different caveats to things. So you have to be able to position yourself in a way that can show what are the greatest qualities that you always want other people to see in you, even if you're not conscious of it. So that's for explaining the gap. But in order to be able to get those positions, you have to be able to apply to jobs at scale. So this is how you do it. So my first thing I would recommend you to do is go to this website, topresume.com. All right. Put your resume in there. What they'll do is they'll analyze your resume according to the ATS system, and they'll send it back within 24 to 48 hours. You do not need to use this service, but it's very good to find out what the computers are actually looking at inside of your resume. And then you can see if that is matching up with your job description. Once you get that feedback back, then you go to the second website right here called jobscan.co. And jobscan.co, what it does is it actually lets you paste in your job description and your resume, and they'll show you the keywords that match between the two. So being able to do that, you'll be able to find not only whether you kind of like match the job description or not, but you can see what gaps are in the description that you don't have, and you can start already learning those things and writing about that on your own time. And by writing about it, it makes you more comfortable in talking about the topic if ever it comes up during an interview. So as long as you focus on a specific part of your industry, for example, chemical engineering is very broad. You could deal with the medical field. You could deal with manufacturing. You could deal with the process plants. You already have experience in manufacturing. So if you focus on that niche, then you know what type of skills are involved there. So long story short, take everything that you know within a specific industry, put it in the job description area, put your resume in the resume area, and see what matches up. Then take the actual job description, put it in there, and see what matches up, and then you'll be able to find out exactly what is missing, and you can fill in those gaps. Now, using these two things, you should be able to get most of your resume questions or cover letter questions down, like on paper, and you can address them by using your personal qualities, like being a mom, managing kids, cleanliness, control of different situations, no matter how much pressure there is. There's tons of stuff you can talk about. But the one question I did have was, what was the survival job? Maybe that survival job could have been something that you could also talk about and see how that survival job actually taught you how to be a better engineer. Many ways to spin it, but the biggest thing I'll say is one, automate your job hunt, and two, make sure that your gap, the explanation of the gap, highlights the skills that you already have and the skills that you've learned while being a mom. I think if you do those two things, no matter what, if your resume goes in, you'll probably be selected over the jump guy. I hope this helps. Take care.